which makes the government's financial appraisal totally flawed. If you were a business and your main variable costs equal to say 20% of total costs, increase by over 3.5 times with no ability to increase prices, how long do you think your business would survive? Welcome to another Essential Quinn. Today's video is covering the electric vehicle car market and specifically revealing how the UK government financially justified the introduction of the zero emission vehicle mandate, which came into force on the 1st of January 2024. This mandate requires that by 2030, 80% of all new car sales must be electric and 100% by 2035. Most Western countries are pursuing very similar timings and policies on this. In this video, I will be providing observations and analysis from the government's cost-benefit analysis report published in October 2023 on the economic effect the ZEV policy is expected to have. Please watch to the end as I will be revealing some incredible assumptions which underpin this analysis. Hey, would you please like this video as it helps reach more viewers? Given the government's position that CO2 from cars is driving climate change, there are those who would say this change has to happen, whatever the cost. But governments also need to act responsibly and only embark on a course of action if there is also financial justification. Major point 1. The government report's own summary analysis of present value to the economy gives a range of plus 39 billion to minus 40 billion. These are figures covering the 50 years up to 2071, with a discount rate of 3.5% being used. My first observation of note is to say that most business organisations presented with virtually an identical upside-downside value would simply conclude the risk-benefit is unacceptable. We do nothing, let's go back to the drawing board. Climate change alarmists will of course argue that if in the end the middle position of zero benefit is achieved, then that is still a win due to the reduction in CO2 emissions. But investment appraisal is about understanding the opportunity cost of the initial investment and whether that investment in a world of scarce financial resource could have been utilised more effectively to both reduce emissions and secure a better net benefit economically for society. So the implications of the government's own business case for EVs is that even the upside case will invariably have a depressive effect on the economy, which in turn will reduce growth and employment. The downside case, if realised, as well as depressing the economy, would require either a significant increase in taxes or borrowings to sustain current government expenditures. Major point 2. My second major observation is the assumed economics of running an electric vehicle. The evaluation report has assumed the energy cost of running an EV is 4 pence per mile in 2021 prices. My table on screen shows the assumptions you would have to make to arrive at such a low figure. To arrive at an EV cost per mile of 4p, you can see that no range degradation is assumed, and the cost of electricity is an average of 18.5 pence per kilowatt hour for both home and public charging. First, the range assumption is unrealistic, as it is well known the range calculated by the manufacturers is under perfect control conditions and temperatures not found in the real world. Second, it is also accepted that range degrades by 10 to 15% with both age and the way the car is charged. Third, in the wintertime, EV car range can fall by as much as 50% depending on the length of the journey and the time spent heating the car using the battery pack. The other major change not included in the analysis is that during the winter of 2022-23, we had the fuel price shock due to the Ukraine war, and now domestic electricity prices are set by the government, currently at a cap price of 29.5 pence per kilowatt hour. You may remember the government supported average bills by as much as £1,600 during this period, with electricity prices rising to over 45p per kilowatt hour. We also have to assume that 50% of charges will be whilst on the move, and BP currently charge 79 pence per kilowatt hour for their public stations. It is clear these uplifts in electricity prices were not recognised in the modelling for the report. Had it been, plus adjusting the real world range with actual experience, the EV price per mile is more in line with what is now shown in my table, which is 14 pence per mile on average. This is after including the new EV off-peak rates available to some of just 10 pence per kilowatt hour. 14p per mile is some 3.6 times higher than assumed by the government, which makes the government's financial appraisal totally flawed. If you were a business and your main variable costs equal to say 20% of total costs increase by over 3.5 times with no ability to increase prices, how long do you think your business would survive? The current average electricity price levels, which I have conservatively calculated at being just 4 pence per kilowatt hour higher than assumed in the government's model, will add 3.2 billion additional cost per year by 2050 to charge vehicles. On screen now is how I have arrived at this additional cost value of 3.2 billion. Please stop video if you wish to study in more detail. This additional cost makes the government's expected case net benefit of plus 39 billion totally unachievable. It also means the downside case of minus 40 billion is also widely understated. How this evaluation got approved is anyone's guess. And here again we see the government making policy and future spending plans based on dodgy modelling. There are quite a number of additional assumptions underpinning this financial analysis. These are on screen now. Again, please stop the video if you need more time to read. Thank you for watching.